if you average out the IQ of the View hosts, you might still struggle to hit triple digits. This brutal takedown from Joe Rogan sets the tone for what is now one of the most shocking scandals involving Sunny Hostin, a prominent figure on the daytime talk show. While Sunny has spent years on television lecturing about morality, equality, and systemic issues, this time, the headlines have turned against her. And not for anything she said. Instead, the focus is on her husband, Dr. Emmanuel Hostin, an orthopedic surgeon accused of federal insurance fraud and implicated in one of New York's largest RICO lawsuits. The details are jaw-dropping, with allegations involving kickbacks, unnecessary surgeries, and fraudulent billing practices, all tied to a massive healthcare scam. Dr. Hostin's practice, Host Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, finds itself in the middle of a lawsuit that alleges a systematic exploitation of the healthcare system. This isn't just a small-scale accusation. It's a blockbuster case involving 180 defendants, all charged with some form of fraud. The RICO Act, designed to combat organized crime, is now being wielded against doctors, surgeons, and medical practices. According to the lawsuit, Dr. Hostin and others allegedly took kickbacks for performing unnecessary surgeries and billed insurance companies for procedures that may never have occurred. Patients, trusting their doctors, may have been exploited, used as pawns in a high-stakes financial scheme. It's like something out of a heist movie, but instead of bank robberies, the crimes occurred in operating rooms and insurance offices. The allegations are damning. The lawsuit claims Dr. Hostin knowingly provided fraudulent medical services in exchange for financial incentives. The focus is particularly on arthroscopic surgeries, minimally invasive procedures performed on joints like knees and shoulders. While these surgeries are common and typically low risk, the lawsuit argues that many of them were entirely unnecessary. Were patients truly in need of these surgeries, or were they victims of a scam designed to pad the wallets of medical practitioners and insurance brokers? For anyone who's ever trusted their doctor, the idea of being operated on for profit rather than necessity is a gut punch. American Transit Insurance Company, the plaintiff in the case, alleges that it was billed for surgeries and medical services that either didn't happen or weren't necessary. The company claims to have been defrauded out of millions of dollars, painting a picture of a healthcare system more concerned with profit than patient care. But this isn't just a story of doctors gone rogue. Critics argue that insurance companies like American Transit aren't exactly innocent themselves. Known for underpaying doctors and denying claims, these companies have long been accused of prioritizing their bottom line over patients' needs. So, is this lawsuit about exposing fraud? Or is it a desperate attempt by a struggling insurance company to recoup its losses? Dr. Hostin's lawyer, Daniel Thwaites, has been quick to dismiss the allegations, calling the lawsuit a meritless attempt by a near-bankrupt insurance carrier to intimidate doctors and restrict health care benefits. This legal defense shifts the focus onto the insurance company, portraying it as the real villain. It's a classic courtroom tactic. Turn the tables on the accuser. Whether it will hold up in court remains to be seen, but it's certainly adding fuel to the fire of this already explosive case. Meanwhile, Sunny Hostin, usually vocal about controversies on The View, has been uncharacteristically quiet. Normally, she's front and center when it comes to debates about morality or systemic failures, but when it comes to her husband's alleged involvement in a healthcare scam, her silence is deafening. Is she standing by him, trying to distance herself, or simply awaiting legal advice? Fans and critics alike are speculating, with some interpreting her silence as an attempt to protect her own reputation. Enter Joe Rogan, the podcast king, who doesn't pull punches when it comes to controversial topics. Rogan has called out Sunny Hostin for what he perceives as hypocrisy. Over the years, Sunny has built her brand on calling out others for their moral failings, yet now finds herself connected to one of the biggest medical fraud cases in recent history. Rogan's biting critique has resonated with his audience, many of whom see The View as a platform for virtue signaling rather than meaningful dialogue. He didn't stop at critiquing Sunny's silence. He went on to roast the entire panel of The View, calling them a rabies-infested henhouse and questioning their collective intelligence. Fans of Rogan are loving his no-holds-barred commentary, but it's worth noting that this case is about more than just Sunny Hostin or her husband. It's exposing uncomfortable truths about the healthcare system itself. How much trust do patients really have in their doctors when stories like this come to light? When financial incentives seem to take precedence over patient care, that trust erodes. People should feel safe walking into a doctor's office, not like they're entering a financial trap. Adding another layer of intrigue, Dr. Hostin isn't the only one in the hot seat. The lawsuit names nearly 200 defendants, including other doctors, medical practices, and even hospitals. If the allegations are true, this could be one of the largest healthcare fraud cases in history. It's a tangled web of corruption that could rival any Hollywood courtroom drama. Imagine trusting your doctor, only to find out that you were nothing more than a pawn in a scheme to bilk insurance companies. That kind of betrayal cuts deep. And yet, the insurance companies themselves are far from blameless. American Transit Insurance Company, the plaintiff in this case, has its own reputation for underpaying doctors and denying legitimate claims. Some critics argue that this lawsuit is less about exposing fraud and more about deflecting blame for its own financial woes. If American Transit is using this case as a smokescreen to cover up its own failings, it's only adding to the mistrust in the healthcare system. As the case unfolds, one thing is clear: the stakes couldn't be higher. For Dr. Hostin, his reputation and career are on the line. For Sunny Hostin, the fallout from her husband's alleged actions could tarnish her image as a moral authority on The View. For the broader healthcare system, this case is a stark reminder of the need for accountability and reform. For now, the allegations remain just that, allegations. Dr. Hostin has not been found guilty, and his legal team is gearing up for a fierce courtroom battle. Whether he's ultimately proven guilty or innocent, this case has already exposed significant cracks in the healthcare and insurance industries. It's a tangled mess, and untangling it won't be easy. Joe Rogan's commentary, while harsh, taps into a broader frustration with media hypocrisy and systemic corruption. His fans see him as a voice of reason in a sea of double standards, and his critique of Sunny Hostin has only amplified the public scrutiny surrounding this case. As we await the next chapter in this unfolding drama, one thing is certain: this story is far from over. Whether it's a courtroom verdict, a public apology, or another explosive revelation, you can bet that all eyes will remain on Dr. Hostin, Sunny Hostin, and the larger implications of this case. If you enjoyed today's deep dive into this scandal, make sure to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss a single update. With every new twist and turn, we'll be here breaking it all down for you. Stay tuned, and let's see where this wild ride takes us.